Hi everyone, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a visual artist and voice coach from Singapore, currently in Singapore, and welcome to day 55 of my 100-day vlog series. So if you're someone who has a dream and you want to pursue it, or you have started to and you're feeling stuck and you don't know how to continue, or you're confused about what this journey is all about, or you're uncertain about what your passion is even though you want to pursue it but you're not feeling it, I've been there. I am still on that journey. I have officially been on this journey for about 8 years now, where I'm taking action to manifest my dreams. But I've always been a dreamer. I've always tried to go after my dreams, and then I get confused and I think that, oh, it's just not for me or whatever. And so it's an ongoing journey. It's an ongoing process. I have learned a lot over the last 8 years, and I'm here to share what I've learned and what I've realized, so that maybe it can help you figure out your own journey, so that maybe you can have a different perspective about what you're going through, and ultimately that you feel a little less alone, because then you know that you're not the only person out there who has gone through what you're going through right now. So if you're someone who really wants to pursue your passion, if you are all about creating a worthy and meaningful purpose for yourself, if you're all about going after whatever it is that truly matters to you, this is a vlog series that I made for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can directly message me through any one of my social media links, which are in the write-ups attached to these videos. So when it comes to talking about our dreams and what really matters to us, there are two things to look at. One of which is the essence of the dream, and the other is the form. So yesterday I shared more in depth about what this essence is. Essentially, it's kind of like a theme of what this dream is. And it's not something you can really put into words. It's something that's really deep within us and that really we want to express. And everything that we do in terms of fulfilling our dreams, it always comes back to that, because that is like the overarching theme of your dream, I guess. So it doesn't matter whether the dream, is to be an artist or a singer or a chef or an astronaut or whatever that is. The essence of the dream is always the same. It's something that I think it's very constant, and as we go along, even though we might find different words to describe it, it's more of a reflection of us discovering more about what it is, rather than it changing over time. Okay. So on the other hand, if we talk about the form today, the form of the dream is something that changes a lot. Okay, the form of the dream, usually when we talk about the dream that we have, it tends to come in some sort of form. So, but it may not be a very clearly defined form. Okay, so part of the process of figuring out how do we get started on taking action on our dream is we have to figure out what is that form that we want to express that dream, or that essence at the moment, or whatever you're aware of at the moment of your dream. You have to start somewhere. It's like an artist with an inspiration for a painting, right? Like, we don't immediately have all the ideas, and we don't immediately see the whole thing in front of us. Sometimes we just get like a vague notion of, or a certain composition of something, and then only when you start drawing, you start putting it down on the paper or the canvas, and then more ideas come in, and then we adjust and we evolve the artwork as we go along. Or you might just like tear it up and start over from scratch. It's all part of the process. So it's the same thing with our dreams. You might get an idea of what it is, and then you have to figure out exactly how do you want to bring that idea to life. So coming back to my example, my dream was to be an artist ever since I was 8 years old, and that was because at that time I really loved to draw. And then of course I was discouraged from my dream, and then long story short, 20 years passed before I came back to being an artist again. And at that point in time, when I was 29 years old and deciding that, very certain that being an artist is my dream, the form that it came to me was that I wanted to have my first solo exhibition. Like, having that fulfilled would be the equivalent at that point in time of fulfilling my dream of being an artist. And then of course it was the most difficult thing I ever did at that point in time, putting together this exhibition in 2 months when I had no formal art training, and I made 30 brand new paintings in that time, plus I had to figure out organizing everything. That became the form of my dream at that point in time. And then because I had fulfilled that form, the other forms of this dream started to appear that I needed to explore in order to figure out what this dream really meant to me. So I explored like children's book illustration. I explored, at one point a veteran illustrator told me that if I wanted to be an illustrator I needed to know how to do digital art. So I tried that too and I didn't like it. So I decided not to continue learning that. Um, and I explored like portrait illustration, but not like realistic portraits, like in my own, unique, whimsical cartoon kind of style. And then I explored teaching art, teaching drawing, teaching doodling. And then somewhere in 2018, the dream came back to me that I always wanted to travel, and it had been 5 years since I had, came, because I was in the US for 4 years and I came back, and then I was in Singapore for 5 years and I hadn't traveled anywhere yet. And then someone told me I could apply for artist residency, so that's what I did. I applied for artist residency, and then I got that residency in Spain, where I painted my very first dream tree mural. And from there I got the inspiration to do more of these dream tree murals, and a few months later the idea to do 100 of them came to me, and then I started putting that plan into action. And last year I painted 7 dream tree murals total, one of them in Singapore and the other 6 in 4 other countries overseas. So it's really insane. Okay, if I look over this journey, how the whole trajectory of my path has been just as a visual artist, it's kind of insane. Like, I never ever thought I would be a mural artist. I never ever thought I would be painting my own mural designs overseas. And that's not where it ends, right? Because at that point in time I thought, okay, this is my dream. I want to travel. I want to be an artist. This is perfect. And then the pandemic happened this year, and the opportunities that I had to, do more dream tree murals this year kind of got postponed to next year, or maybe even the following year. I don't know yet. Depends how things go with this virus. And then this year, it was like, okay, since I'm here in Singapore, what else can I do? And then the idea came of this story that I wrote in 2018. I decided it was time to put it into a form. And the form that came to me was an animation. And it's not something that I really do. It's not something I've really done before. Although I did try one before 2 years ago. I decided to just go for it and to just do it. And I just completed it, and I just submitted it to the local animation festival, Cartoons Underground. I don't know if I will get in, but the point I'm making here is that the form of your dream will change over time, because as you're figuring out what that dream is and what it is for you, it's gonna come in a different, it's gonna come in different ideas, and sometimes the ideas takes the form of different projects that you can take on. So if you are an artist like me, for example, I would say don't get too fixated on the form of the art that you're doing, but rather, fulfill it anyway, because it comes to you for a reason. You have to fulfill it, otherwise it's gonna haunt you, right? So fulfill it anyway, but see, and extract different lessons from it, like what you liked about it, what you didn't like, what worked for you, what didn't work for you. And then a lot of times, usually this is what happens as you're doing it. New ideas are going to come in, new options are going to come in, new possibilities are going to come in, and then you explore those as well, and you refine, try out different forms of expressing this dream of yours. Ultimately, over time it starts to get more refined, and you start to figure out the different forms of expressing it. So the form of your dream might change over time, and probably will change over time. And it might seem sometimes like you can't seem to make up your mind to do something, but a lot of times it's not that. It's just you're trying to figure out how to best express the essence of your dream. And because the essence is something that is very hard to define, the form is actually the clearest way that we can, at least at that point in time, to express the essence of that dream. So really, when you are fulfilling the form of your dream, you're also getting more clarity about what the essence really is. So they are both important. They are both an essential part of your journey as you figure out your dream. And yeah, I guess if you have any questions about this, feel free to ask them in the comments or directly message me through any of the social media links in the write-ups attached to these videos, and I can share with you more about this, or maybe I will do that over the next few days. I don't quite know yet. But in the meantime, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel on YouTube or like my Facebook page wherever you're seeing this on, and I'll see you tomorrow.